doing that. You're telling the enemy, every time I spit, you're telling the enemy why I spit. We're not seeing from those aspects that is our own people that keep us in the place where we are. And this thing called white supremacy, they recruit your people without your people realizing. They think I'm getting in this privileged position. You are an idiot.
Identifying.
Let's go.
You are about to experience the uncensored conversations, stimulating wit, and the thought-provoking wisdom. Bold, raw, and uncut. Right now, on the LanceScurv Show.
Cuba have some of the best engineers, some of the best doctors, some of the best dentists. So whatever you want to call it. I mean, this man teaches people to be so self-sufficient. Even these ones that run away and come to America, ask them where they get their education. They get it from Castro, because Cuba is the most literate country in the Western Hemisphere. Most Cubans, you could say 98% of Cubans can read and write. Look, you in America, the land of the free and the brave, and the land of opportunity. And you got more literate people right here in America than a lot of places on the planet. So what does that say? My thing is this, people will say this and that about Castro, but I said, if Castro did not have his people's best interest at heart, why would he, if somebody want to keep you down, why, if I want to keep you down, I teach you to read and write? Why? Why would I want to be literate? If you want to keep people down, you keep them illiterate. You see what I'm saying? I tell people how this thing works. The system, racism, white supremacy, which control and dominate the whole planet, works in a way to control our people on a continual basis, and it's always changing to suit its purpose. When you think that it's done over here, it's back over here. The funny thing is, our people just are not seeing it. So anytime we think we got a little bit of so-called education, and we look down on our brothers and sisters and think, oh, pull yourself up by the bootstrap. But as I said, how can you pull yourself up by the bootstrap when you don't have a boot? As Martin Luther King says. And that's one thing I credit him for. Because the fact is that, like I said, integration did not help black people in America. Integration was the downfall of black people in America. Because when you're going to integrate, you didn't say to them, you bring 10 students to my school and I bring 10 students to your school. You shop at my business and I shop at your business. No, they see to it that we close down all our business, close down all our schools, so we are committing financial suicide. We commit, when integration, they actually, black people commit financial suicide. That was the straw that broke the camel back. And we never get up as a people since then. If integration did not come, black people would turn this country upside down. You see what I'm saying? Because black people, notice this. Anywhere you see black people go, anywhere, it is always prosper. The land is always fertile where black people are. What does that tell you? You see what I'm saying is, we are not realizing that in this situation, that's why they tell you to leave. They know that if you leave, that is it for them. Because what I'm saying is, okay, even when I talk about Jamaica, just to jump from place to other, but to tie it all in together, where they're extracting the gold in Jamaica, they don't have to take big machine and go dig. They're using core drills to core and take the gold out. You see what I'm saying is, most places here, if you see they're digging for gold, they got to use some machines and digging up all kind of places and turning the land upside down. Because the gold is there. The veins are there. So they know where the veins are by satellite. So they go in there and they know that it's not far down in the ground. So they go in there and they core drill it and bring it out and extract it in no time, and they're coming out with all this amount of gold out of this country, but the people are still suffering, remaining poor, and they are using the same people who are suffering, who don't have anything. You see what I'm saying is? And they are taking away everything from them. Reason why I'm saying that, it just goes to show that whether we live in America, whether we live in Jamaica as black people, whether we live in Cuba, whether we live in Venezuela, whether we live in Haiti, whether we live in Africa, wherever black people live, is the same thing that is happening to us. So that even gives us more reason to come together. Because we realize the oppressor is never going to remove this boot off our neck. You see what I'm saying is, even when you think you got the house, you got the car. But the funny thing is this. Some people tell you there's no such thing as white supremacy. If you don't believe in white supremacy, you are hallucinating. Because what I'm saying is, the reason why I say that, white supremacy is what dominates. And whether if I live in Jamaica and I call myself living under a black government, they must answer to white supremacy. Until we flip white supremacy, until we flip it and break its back. You know what I'm saying? Break its back. Just break the back and destroy it completely. We will never be free from white supremacy. This is what I'm saying is, as I always say, and I've been saying this for a long time, and also Neely Fuller Jr. said the same thing. And I just started learning about Neely Fuller Jr., but I've been saying this for a long time. When we were born in prison. All of us were born in prison. Whether we like it, yes or no, the prison of white supremacy. If you were not born in prison, you wouldn't even have a birth certificate. Why do you need one? Why do you need one? That's why they have it trading it on the stock market. You are born in prison. And when I leave Jamaica, I just transfer from one prison to the next. That's all I'm doing. Because they have full control of the system. Can the system be destroyed? Yes. But we who see it as impossible, anytime you see a problem as impossible to fix, then you're doomed. You need to realize that if this table come in pieces, it might take you a long time to put it together. But take it apart and see how easy it become. You see, the problem is, this is the problem, my brother. I'm going to tell you what the problem is, because we are blind. We have this thing in our head. When we look at something like white supremacy, all we see is impossible. We see impossible problem to solve. We have to look from a whole different angle. All we see is solution. We need to start to see solution. You know the problem is there, but you got the tool to fix the problem. You see what I'm saying is? So that's why they set up this system where they have all kind of things to trick you and keep controlling you, that you may not focus on where all the screws is to unbolt the system. That's why they have the TV, they give you music, they give you football, they give you basketball, they give you all this entertainment, and all this entertainment is keeping you busy, so you are distracted, so you will never see how to untangle the problem. You got to be willing to let all of those things go. You got to be willing to turn the television off and, listen, take your trinkets. I don't want them. But because they get us in a comfortable spot where we can sit back and feel good. Oh man, I got a 100-inch flat screen TV now. And you can kick back. Oh man, I can watch the football game in HD or whatever amount of D you want to watch it in. You see what I'm saying is, those are the traps that they set, the distraction. And the thing is that if you just learn to turn off all those things and put them aside, you will look at the system and say, how didn't I see this? How didn't I see this? These people that, I tell you, they are smart, but they are not clever. They are just like the Wizard of Oz. He's got, have this big voice and everybody's afraid of him. But when you pull the curtain, somebody standing back there 3 foot tall, using an amplifier to amplify his voice, that you may be afraid of him. But I said, and as many brothers said, Humpty Dumpty must be pushed off the wall. But you're not seeing that. He ain't going to fall by himself. He'll never fall by himself. You got to push him off the wall. And push him off so hard that nobody can put him back together again. The system always tells you how to destroy it. This system tells you how to destroy it. The same foolishness they put in the Bible about David and Goliath, they're telling you, you're the David. They are the so-called Goliath. Come to him from here. But because they know they chain you down up here, they know that will never happen. How can, look here, they're telling you, you have this big army over here, all grown men, and you got that other army over there with one giant. And one little boy step up and say, look, I'll go and fight him. I'll go and fight him because I know I can defeat him. That's the attitude. That's talk about dismissing fear. Dispel fear from yourself. That's how you defeat the giant. By dispelling fear. That's the first thing you must do, is dispel fear. There is no fear unless you make it. They put fear in you. You didn't born with fear. If you were born with fear, why would a baby go and touch a hot stove? Because that baby was born with no fear in it. Until they make you teach that baby fear. That's what happened to us as a people. They get us in this place and teach us fear because our own parents teach it to us. Because they didn't know that what they were doing. You see, then you fear all these things. Then the next thing they teach you, fear God. Fear Jesus. You see what I'm saying is? So you don't want to do nothing now. You don't want to do nothing to displease this God. You don't want to, oh man, I don't want to sin because I'm going to die. This God going to kill me. And we don't find that strange. You see what I'm saying? We got to dispel all those things. We got to remove those things that we can help each other, help our people. And that's why I said we must reach down for those that are on the bottom. Stop looking down on them. Stop looking down and stop criticizing them. Wake up and see what's going on. That is what the system wants you to do. The system give you a few trinkets because they already know your position. Oh, he's born in a good home. He's got a mother. He's got a father. Oh, yeah, we can kind of, keep him in this place here. That's why when you go to school, they're always giving you tests. They're testing you to see where to place you. You think it's a good thing. Oh, man, I'm the brightest one in the class. No, you're an idiot. Because what they're doing to you, they're controlling you. They are the one that is determining how far you can go and where you can't go. But you're not seeing that because you're so caught up in the bullshit to think that, oh yeah, man, I'm a student. I'm guaranteed to go into university. That's your thinking because they get you to think, which is another con game that they are playing on you. And so you give them your money willingly. You become an automatic slave by giving them your money willingly. Oh man, I got my bachelor's, my master's, my this, my that. And you don't realize how much money you're paying for that. These people are collecting thousands, hundreds of thousands off you. Okay? For those degrees that you so-called getting, and you're still bogged down with bills that you can never pay off, and even your children have to be taking them up and paying them. And you think you reach somewhere. You're drowning. You're drowning and you're not realizing you're drowning because you have these trinkets. Oh, I got a Benz. Oh, I got this. How much you paying every month for it? Don't pay it and see what happened to you. Oh, I got a 2-story house. Don't pay the mortgage and see what happened to you. You see what I'm saying is? You're drowning in them. Some doctors have to be working 2 jobs. He's working on a doctor's office and he's working the hospital. He's working here and he's working there. And you think that is something, that you have accomplished something. But that's the twist that the system put on you because every day they have you under a spell. And you don't even realize because you can't dispel the spell unless you know it. You cannot dispel a spell unless you know it. You see what I'm saying is? Because this is way they set the system. It's a system of control. And every time they realize that a certain amount of people is going to break the spell and dismantle the system, they switch it around on you. It's a con game. The 3-card man is always moving the cans. And because your eye are not focused on his hands, he's always tricking you. Because he set up distraction. He's got one guy over here, and one guy over there. Oh man, you can win, man. Come on, man. Just, come on, man. We want to see you win. But you didn't know that he placed those people there. You see what I'm saying? Just like when we talk in code. You are, let's say you are Jamaican. He's from Trinidad. You have codes as black people that you're talking. Most white people will never understand what you're saying. So what he does, he hire a Trinidadian, he hire a Jamaican who totally understand the lingo. And he think that he's in this good position, but he don't realize that he's working for the enemy, that he's trying to destroy his people. You see what I'm saying? You see how the system works? That's why they're always 10 steps ahead of you, because they're using your own people to destroy you. And your own people that is destroying you, a lot of them, they know, and some of them, most of them don't know, but a lot of them do know. Those are the ones that sell their soul. Those are your congressmen, your senators, those are your actors and your actresses, all those people. They already know. But the ones that talk in themselves like, oh, they're the professors, they're the college this, they're the whatever, they don't know nothing. They're just a bunch of pawns in the game of chess. That's what the system is all about. The controller. The controller. And you sitting there and thinking, your own people is the ones that keep you in subjugation. Because they give them a boot and they give them some strap to tie them up. So because they allow them to have a boot and some strap, they come back and they tell you, man, I got my boot and my strap. You need to get your boot and your strap and strap them up. But nobody come to you and help you to get no boot. Move a strap. You see what I'm saying? But that's what our own people are doing. Our own people are the one that is selling us out. Knowingly and unknowingly. Because when the CIA come to recruit some Jamaican, the Jamaican didn't ask himself, why the hell do the CIA white CIA want to recruit me, a Jamaican? You see what I'm saying? Are the FBI? Are the police? Why do they want to recruit you? Because they want to infiltrate your people. That's their purpose. The same thing they do with all African come here. You will find from every nation of Africa, you will find them on the police force, the FBI, the CIA. You'll find them in all aspects. Because why? They recruit them to infiltrate their people. Because they speak their lingo. That's what we're not understanding. Because we become so dumbed down with a few trinkets that they give us and the crumbs that is falling off the table, and we think we reach somewhere. And these people are laughing at us because we cannot escape from under their thing if we don't realize what is happening. That your own people are the ones that they use to keep you where you're at. And we look up to them and think, oh man, there's this guy here, Jamaican. Oh man, he become the highest ranking guy in the military. Powell, give me a break. You think they're just doing that for doing its sake? You see, they give us these feel-good things because they know we like to feel good. You see what I'm saying? Just like you were saying earlier. Why does a lot of black people, as Joseph mentioned, why does a lot of black people, okay, why do they go out and buy car with rims? It's because to make them feel good. So they know that we are suffering. And so when we buy these little trinkets, it makes us feel better. When you see one of our black American sisters go out and buy a new dress, get a hairdo or whatever, she make her feel good because every day she's suffering. So it give her something, but me and you, all we do is criticize. Instead of we look at and see it from where they're coming from. That this is the only relief that they have. You see what I'm saying is? That is the only relief that they have. But we take it and we tear them down. When once we start citing it from their aspect and what they're suffering from, then we're going to change the dynamics. Because we're going to help to raise them up now. We're going to stop selling out to the enemy. That's why I said, if you're a police officer, you're not my friend. Don't be just because you're Jamaican. No, you're not my friend anymore. You're my enemy. You become my enemy because you're working for the enemy to defeat me. So you got to realize it's either you're there to infiltrate them to help me to defeat the enemy, but if you're there to work for the enemy and sell me out, you should be telling, when I say up, you should be telling the enemy that I say down. But you're not doing that. You're telling the enemy, every time I spit, you're telling the enemy why I spit. We're not seeing from those aspects that is our own people that keep us in the place where we are. And this thing called white supremacy, they recruit your people without your people realizing. They think I'm getting in this privileged position. You are an idiot. You have lost your mind. You are helping them to keep your people in the place that they are in an enslavement position. And you think, oh, if I do it, you can do it. You was chosen. Because they know you. How can you born in their prison and they don't know you? How can you? From the day your mother take you and register you with that birth certificate, they know you. You might feel like they don't, but they do. Okay? So they know exactly how to place you and where to place you. They know who is a rebel and who is not. They've been watching you your entire life. You're not aware of it because you just, oh man, life is good. I got all these things and my mother, my father, they always been working. They're working in the prison. They're working in the prison. They are in prison physically, not held by chains or anything, but you are in a prison, in a planet, you are in prison. They tell you when you must go and register your child. That is not your decision.
What about up in New York, where they're telling them the kids don't get the immunization shots because of the forcing?
Exactly my point. That's what I'm saying is you see, it becomes to the point right now where the prison it is imposing itself on you more and more and more and more. And as time goes by, you're going to have, you think you didn't have no rights before? You're going to have zero rights. And you are almost at that place right now. Most people, when they start to push back, when people start to demonstrate in America and they start to send out the police in riot gears, most people think, oh, we live in the land of the free and the brave. You're an idiot. Free for who? Free for who? That's the reality. You are not free. It's an hallucination. You must come into the place where you realize what is going on. It is only free for white people. It is only free for white people. Okay? Everybody else who come on the side of white supremacy is all buffer. Whether they're Indian, they're Chinese, they call themselves Hispanic or whatever they want to call themselves, they are buffer for white supremacy. That's all it is. Okay? They give you a little bit more trinket and the police won't beat you so often. I won't beat you because you have a nation behind you and they know that. That's the difference. We as a people must learn. Stop thinking. Stop selling out your people. Just like the pastors in the church selling out their people. They are part of those who sell you out willingly. You see what I'm saying is? All your politicians, that's what I'm saying is, all of them, they sell you out willingly. All of them. Don't tell me about every politician sell out black people. That is a black person that is a politician already sell you out. Because they sell you out, they signed a contract to get where they are and promise that they're going to keep their people subjugated. Because none of them have any agenda for you. Doesn't that tell you something? Why do you think that the church don't teach you about your history and about slavery and all these different things? Why do you think the church don't do that? Because they know exactly what they're doing. That's what I'm talking about. We must wake up and realize the importance of this. And I'm telling us as a people to stop selling out your people. Don't tell your sons to join the police force. Don't tell your son to join the army. Don't tell your son to get into the FBI because it's a prestigious position. Don't tell your son to be a CIA agent for the American because all they're doing is selling out their own people. That's all you're doing. You're spying on your own people without knowing that you're spying on your own people. Giving the enemy all the information that they need. Do you think that if they couldn't decode what Jamaican people speak, do you think that they could infiltrate Jamaican people? Do you think they could keep Jamaican people in the position that they are? So all your politicians are sellout. Because they are part of it. All of them are selling out their own people for pennies on the dollar. Because they gave them their trinkets and say, here you go. Sit in your corner and have your bread. Because as long as you sign the contract with us, there's nothing you can do anymore. Don't step out of line. The same thing with Africa. The same exact thing. You have the richest continent in the world, and yet your people suffer the most. What's wrong with that picture? Your own government sell you out. Those who rule over you sell you out. And they know that they sell you out. You see what I'm saying? And they will kill you if you go against the system that they sell you out to.
That's correct.
That's the reality. You see, so you're looking at, these kings and... No, look at the way the kings are living. Look at the way your chiefs in Africa are living. But you are suffering, can't eat bread. Okay? The same thing your pastors is living and you can't eat bread. Okay? You see the pattern? You're adding it up now? You realizing it's a game that is being played on you at all times? You have to wake up and see the reality. You are being tricked constantly. And there is no letting up. The only time you're going to see that is when you wake up spiritually. Okay? When people say, I'm in the conscious community, these days I tell people, I'm not in the conscious community. Because consciousness means that you have knowledge. You know. Spiritual awakening is a whole different level. When you are spiritually awake, you're never going to take advantage of your people. You're never going to sell out your people. That's a spiritual awakening. Because you're on a higher level of consciousness at this point. You see the plight of your people, and all your whole being is going to aim at liberating your people. Not about filling your own pocket or lining your own pocket because you become a greedy white supremacist in black skin. That's really what you are. Is a greedy white supremacist in black skin. You have knowledge, meaning you are conscious. But are you spiritually awake and aware? That's the difference. You will never take advantage of your people when you are spiritually awake. So you must define who you are. You see, so when people ask me, I'm in the conscious community, No, I'm not. I am in a spiritually awareness. I have come to spiritual consciousness. And I see the plight of my people. And I will never take advantage of them. Because the reality is, I need to help them to come out of the hole that you have helped to put them in. You see, so giving knowledge is good. But coming to this place where you realize the fullness of the situation, that's the bottom line. That's what we must do, is to make sure that our people are in the forefront. We are ready to go in the front of the battle, not stand behind them and say, go out there and fight, I'm back here, I'll back you up. No, you must lead the charge. Lead the charge for your people. If you are spiritually awake, you're going to lead the charge. You're not going to ask nobody to go in front. You're going to be there. You say, brother, I'm in the front. Just stand behind me and I'm going to defend you. That's a spiritual, conscious, and awakened person. That's a person who is not going to take advantage of his community. Neither male nor female, neither child or anyone in your community, you will not do that to them. So people can talk. You see what I'm saying is? But when you reach to that place, then it's a whole different place. Then you will back it up by your action. You see what I'm saying is? Every time, if you got a thing where you're going to go and do a lecture, you're telling brothers and sisters how much money they got to pay to come into your lecture. Most of them can't even afford it. The ones that really need to be there cannot afford it. What are you doing for those ones? What are you doing for them? You see what I'm saying is? Are you going out in the street to give them the information for free? Are you taking the money that you're making to give to those ones that can't pay for it? Don't have it to pay for it? You see, sometimes we pressure on people, oh yeah, they got it. Not everybody in the black community got it. A lot don't have it. A lot have it, but a lot don't have it. And that's the thing that we are not seeing and we are not speaking about. We like to always beat down those that are already beaten down. You see what I'm saying is? Because you're telling them to do for self. But as I go back and I said, how are you going to tell a person to pick themselves up by the bootstrap when they don't have a boot? Move over the strap. Did you give them a boot? You see what I'm saying is? But somebody give you a boot. Somebody open up some door for you somewhere. You forgot very quickly. My mother used to have a famous saying, it's not the man who shits in the bush remembers it, but it's the man who steps in the shit remembers it. Because even though you clean your shoes, you will always smell in that shit on your shoes. So all of those that reach in their particular position, they forget that somebody opened doors for them. Are they willing to open a door for you? You see what I'm saying? They don't talk about that part, that somebody was there opening door for them. Even though they make it like when they came out of their mother's womb, they start walking, running, eating, working, and doing everything else. And forget about even the mother that was cleaning their behind for how many years. And making sure they stay straight. You see what I'm saying is, it's very easy to forget, my brother. Brothers and sisters, we need to be conscious, cognizant of our brothers and sisters that are down there on the bottom. Because like I said, in this world, in this society, the people who should we look to is the people that are cleaning the toilet. Because if they don't clean the toilet, you will never go in there. We look to these so-called doctors and lawyers as these heroes and these role models that we should look to, and basketball players. But if someone wasn't cleaning their filth, the whole world would be stink. So the people who are cleaning the filth is the one that we should be holding up as heroes. You see what I'm saying? The guy that is sweeping the street, we should never pass him and look down on him and think, oh Lord, I would never do that job. But if you don't clean the street, where the hell are you going to drive? How are you going to walk? Huh? You look down on him because he's a gardener that is cleaning up your yard to make it look good. But that's the one you look down on, and that's the one you're willing to pay next to nothing because his job doesn't worth anything. That's how this thing called white supremacy get us to think. You see what I'm saying is? That's how they get us to think. Everything is backwards. That's why I said you must become a salmon and swim upstream, swim against the current. Go against everything that they tell you. That's what you have to do. Because these are truly devils. Deceivers. Liars. That's what they are. Because everything about them is a lie. People will tell you, oh, you got this culture and that culture. No, all the cultures has been stolen from Africa. When you hear Spanish people talk about, we got salsa and we got this and we got, and all these Spanish. No, listen to it. It's a mix of African music. Okay? You got the calypso, you got the soca. Listen to Spanish music and see what you hear. It is the same African beat. It is the same African beat. So when you hear these people talk about culture, they didn't get no culture from Spain. What dance Spain got? What music does Spain have? They ain't got no music or no dance. Some stupid foolishness that don't even make sense. 99% of so-called Spanish culture is African. If you want to know truth. So don't tell me about you got culture. Where you get it from? That's if when somebody tell you about their culture, ask them where they get it from. Everybody in the Spanish culture, they deal with their food just as African people deal with their food. So where did you get that from? Did you get that from Spain? They don't even know how to cook down there. What they used to eat? Raw food? Raw meat? Give me a break. You see, we have to come to the realization of realism. We have to come to the realization of speaking truth to power, because most people don't like to hear truth. And that's why they come against people like us when we speak the truth. When we expose them. When we lift up their so-called skirts, so to speak. And expose their nakedness. That means their lies and their deception. They hate that. Why do you think white supremacy come after people like Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey? And again, who was the one that sell them out? Their own. For white supremacy. You see what I'm saying is? And that's what we have to realize. That's the thing. The devil is sitting at your table looking like you. You see what I'm saying? The devil is sitting at your table looking just like you. So be aware. Be aware. Even if your brother is in the police department, your sister, be aware when they come around you. If they're in the military, be aware. Unless you really get to know them. Unless they are inside there and they're seeing the whole thing and coming back to you and start to say, man, I'm seeing the whole thing from the inside out. You see what I'm saying is? But be aware. Because the system is about to victimize you.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at LanceScurv.com